So the thing about Facebook ads, as we've talked about, Facebook uses algorithms to decide who gets to see what. Facebook ads allows you to get your message to a target audience who aren't following you. So people who aren't engaged with you, as well as the fans of your page. It also allows you to drive a message and drive page engagement. So for example, we've been running Facebook ads to promote grants that our funders are offering, for example, in new areas of the country where we haven't had grants before, and they've been a very successful way of driving new people to register on the platform who might get grants. So, as I said, while the algorithm shows people brand content for nothing, if you pay to advertise, Facebook will show your ads to the audience you target. Obviously, that's dependent upon the timings you select and the amount of money you spend, but you've got a lot more chance of people seeing your adverts. So, typical for Facebook, there's a load of terminology that you get for specifically around adverts. So the good thing for charitable organisations, you can set a limit on how much you spend on an advert. Adverts will run until you reach your spending limit and then pause. So if you set your spending adverts or £10 a month, when you've spent £10, it will stop. So you can never spend more than you agree to the total you set. Your ad account is where you manage your ads, the amount spent, pretty obvious, the amount you've spent so far. Your audience and your target audience is the group of Facebook users who Facebook says could potentially see your ads. And I'm going to talk a bit about how you set your audience. Your bid strategy. So Facebook advertising works like an auction. So you say, I want to bid the highest value. I want to bid against a target amount. I want to bid the lowest cost advert, or I want to have a return on my advertising spend. And I'm going to talk a bit about bidding. Cost per click is how much it costs per person that clicked. So when Misha talked about pinning a post, you could see that we had a link in there saying, go here to register to be eligible to be matched with this grant. If I posted that as an advert and somebody clicked on that link and it cost me 10p, that would be the cost of the click on that advert. Impressions is the number of time your advert was seen or was on screen for that target audience. So, for example, you might see a number that said this advert had 1,000 impressions, so that advert was 1,000 times on screen for my potential target audience. Page engagement here is the interactions you've had that are attributable to your ads. So, for example, I post an advert up and I've had 100 likes. That is the page engagement likes for that advert. And the same for shares, for clicking the links, for going to your location. The reach is the number of people who would have seen your adverts at least once. So if you look at impressions, that's the number of time your advert was there. The reach is the number of people then who saw your advert when it was there. You look on your reports for your ad metrics, which I'm going to talk about a bit, and your schedule is if you've got a budget, a fixed budget, you can schedule your ad to run on a specific day and a specific time. So, for example, you might say, we've got an event on this day and I want my advert to run between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on that day. So the minimum an ad must run is 1 hour. So how do they work? Facebook ads are messages that look like posts. So the way to differentiate in your news stream of what's an advert and what's not is it will have sponsored up at the top. So you can see here, this is a Good Exchange advert. You decide how much you want to spend by setting a budget for each ad campaign. And Facebook uses an auction system. So if you're bidding to target charitable fundraisers in Newbury and there are 2 other people bidding, Facebook will show the ad for the organisation that's bidding the most money. So it's very similar to the way that Google ads work. Bids are based on the cost per click of your ad or the cost per impression. So I talked about clicks or impressions. So how much did you bid and what your budget is depends on how often your ad will show and when it will show. If you're not sure, and I would recommend this if you're a beginner, Facebook will automatically manage all that for you, and it will aim to spend your budget evenly. So if you said you had a budget of £100 and you wanted to run the advert for 10 days, Facebook would work out to spend £10 a day and when would be the best time to run that. And if you're really interested in loads more detail, there's a good article on the Facebook page about how it prices and how Facebook ads run. There are 2 ways to create an advert, and today I'm really going to just talk about the boosting post. So Facebook boosting a post is good for beginners because Facebook takes care of all the details and you've already created your message and your content. So what a boost post is sort of re-advertising a post that you've already made. For advanced advertisers, which is probably not us or any of us, you create your ad from scratch and you manage it in your Business Manager account. Again, I've put a link here to quite a good blog by Hootsuite that talks about Facebook advertising. So if you want to boost a post, all you have to do is find the post you want to boost. So here, our 3rd anniversary, and as we saw earlier, every post that you have has this little boost post button in the bottom corner. So you just have to click on the button and you get taken to your boost post menu. So the first thing you have to do is decide what your goal is. So is it to get people to do something? So we've got a video in here. Or do you want to connect with people? So in our thing, we want people to watch our video about our 3rd anniversary. So I'm going to click on that button, watch a video. So the next thing to do is I want to add an action to my advert, my boost post. So at the moment it's got no button. If I click on add a button, I'll get a menu. And again, as Misha went through in the buttons section earlier, I'm going to add a learn more button, which will allow me to link to a fundraising page. So here you could link to your fundraising page on the Good Exchange with your advert. The Facebook boost post menu is very long. So you've got this grey bar and you just click on it with your mouse and you drag it down to get to the next pages. So go back to my add a button, I click on learn more, and then what I have to do is just find the URL for my project on the Good Exchange and paste that into there. So that means that when my boost post appears, there'll be a learn more button. Anyone who clicks on it will be taken to my fundraising page and prompted to make a donation. Now, the next thing you do is decide who you want to target. So who's your target audience? There are several ways you can do this. You can choose who you want to target. You can choose just to target people who like your page, but I wouldn't recommend this because those people are probably already seeing what you're posting. You can target people who like your page and your friends. So that's quite a good thing to do because it means people who already like you and people who they're contacted with would see your advert. Or you can target people in your local area, or you can create a new audience. So click on edit. So click on the button, click on edit if you want to change the criteria for any of these or see the criteria. So if I choose people who I choose through targeting, you can see I can select gender, age, I can select a location, but the important thing is that I can include people who match a specific criteria. So you can see here I've typed in charity. And as you can see as well, Facebook will give me a dashboard. So it tells me that if I target all men and women between 18 and 65 in Newbury who match charity, so they've done something with charity, they've clicked on charity, they're following some charities, I could potentially target 46,000 people. So the other good thing is if I'm too specific, this little dial will move to the red and Facebook would say, well, I don't recommend that you target that advert because you haven't got enough people. So it shows you the size of your target audience. When you're happy with that, click save. Now, this is where you decide where and when your advert will appear. So what I would recommend for beginners is let Facebook decide. So just turn that on. And here is where you set the duration. So Facebook recommended a minimum of 10 days for an advert. And here is you set your budget. Now the minimum budget you can spend is £1 a day. So you can play around with it and just put £10 in. So for example, in this is I'm always spending £10 a day. So you set your total budget.
Someone's asking, would the local area selection be my personal location, i.e. my personal account address, or the registered address of my organisation? well, we would think it would probably be your organisation and the area that your beneficiaries lie. So that might be a little bit wider. You might be wanting to specifically target, you might have an outreach programme, for example, in a particular town. So do get more specific with the organisation side of things rather than your own personal one.
Yeah, so for example, where we were advertising grants available in County Durham, we targeted our advert in County Durham and Teesside. Where we were advertising the sovereign housing grants, they were all across the southeast of England, as far as Devon and Cornwall as well, and the Isle of Wight. So we picked different towns and counties and regions. So as Misha said, it depends what your advert is promoting and who. So it's really about who you want to see the advert rather than about where you are or where your organisation is. So if you're doing something at the other end of the country, you'd want to target people at the other end of the country. So the important thing about Facebook ads as well is you have to set up how you're going to pay. So Facebook won't post your ad until you've committed how you're going to pay for it. So you need a debit or credit card. They will never charge you more than the amount you've set for your advert. So if you set your budget as £10, you will never be charged more than £10. And as I said, if you reach your budget limit, you'll be notified and your advert will stop. So you just type your credit card or debit card details in, click on boost, and your advert will start running. So if you want to see how your advert's running, you can get some simple analytics as we saw in Facebook and Facebook Pages Manager. But the more detailed Facebook analytics for advertising, I'll come through something called Facebook Business Manager. And I've put a couple of links here to some detailed articles about Facebook Business Manager and how you start with it. So it's a free tool from how you manage your organisational activities. So as well as user access, it's for managing your ad accounts and all the insights and reporting about your account. So you can access it here and you can see, this is the Good Exchange, so you can see we've got how many impressions we've had for our adverts, how much we've spent. We can see our ad accounts and we can also access our pages. So we can see in the last 28 days on our page, we've had 122 page likes and reached 37,000 people and had 1,660 engagements. So Business Manager is a really good way of seeing everything to do with your page in one place. So to create a Facebook Business Manager account, you go to facebookbusiness.com and create an account, and then you just follow through the steps. This is completely free. It's just a more detailed way of seeing what's going on with your page. Just follow the instructions on the wizard, and then once you're done, you just log in here, business.facebook.com, and you'll see the same page that I showed you for your organisation that we've got for the Good Exchange. As I said, you can see summary information about your adverts and your page, and you just click on these to reveal more detail. If you click on the menu on Ads Manager, you'll see detailed information about your advert. So the budget you've got, the clicks, the impressions, the reach, and you can also create and manage all of your adverts from here. And if you want to see your billing, click on Business Tools and Billing. And this is where you can set up your payment settings from there. So you can access everything to do with your Facebook page through Business Manager, as well as from Facebook Pages Manager. And here you can see how much you spent on your advert and when it's going to be due.